Hi there, in this video we're going to have a look at solving problems using the idea of perimeter. And we've been looking at the idea that the perimeter of a shape is a distance all the way around the outside. So let's have a look at this problem here. It says there's a triangle and there's a rectangle and they have the same perimeter. Suggest two different sets of dimensions for the rectangle. So a dimension is just a length or a breadth. So it suggests that there's maybe more than one answer. So the first thing we're going to have to do is to work out what we've got to work with. What is the perimeter number that we're dealing with? And we can get that information from this triangle here on the left hand side. Remember that the two dashes there tell us that those two lengths are exactly the same, which means that if the side here is 21 centimeters, I can actually write in that this is 21 centimeters as well. That means I've got three sides of my shape, I've got three numbers, so I can then go ahead and work out what the perimeter is. I'm going to keep using the word perimeter equals. It helps to explain what this number I'm going to generate is. And I'm also going to continue to explain how to get it. So I'm going to start at the top, I'm going to go down this line here as 21, and then I go along the bottom, which is 18. And I can go up the side, which is 21. It doesn't matter which order you add them. You might want to put the two 21s together because they're the same. So 21 and 21 is 42. Add 18 is 52. It's 60. So the total perimeter is 60 centimeters for this for the triangle, which suggests here, or it tells us that the perimeter is the same. So we know that the perimeter of this rectangle is 60. So it's saying what size could the rectangle be? Now we had a look in the previous example that there's a couple of ways you could do it. You just do it by trial and error. But the easiest way to work that out is if we know the perimeter of a rectangle. The easiest way is to remember that half of the rectangle, one length and one breadth, is going to be half of the total perimeter. So one length and one breadth is going to be, can you work it out? 60 divided by 2 equals 30 centimeters. So as long as one length and one breadth add up to 30, then that could be one of the dimensions of the rectangle. So we could say that length plus breadth equals 30 centimeters. So in other words, if I just pick a value for one, we'll call that length and call that the breadth. So we could say if L equals 20 centimeters, then the breadth is going to be 10 centimeters, because I know that 10 and 20 make 30. If I go ahead and say 20 and 10 and 20 and 10, I'll get to 60. So there's my first answer. Also, pick any other values. Say the length was 22 centimeters. Then what number adds with 22 to get to 30? Well, the answer would be 8 centimeters. And again, 22 and 8 and 22 and 8 is 60. So I could go on and I'll write a few more, even though I was only asked for 2. Anything that adds up to 30. Of course, we could use 15 centimeters, which would mean the breadth would be 15 as well. And that is interesting because that means we would have a square, which is still a rectangle, but it's a special rectangle because all the sides would have the same length. So that's fine. We could say that the length is, we could go less than that. We could say the length is, say, 11 centimeters, which means the breadth would be bigger. The breadth would have to be, 11 less than 30 is 19. So there's another answer. So it's all possible. Lots and lots of possible answers. Okay. Here's a second problem. We've got a field, a farmer's field, and it's a four-sided shape. It's actually a quad. No, it's a trapezium. It looks like a trapezium anyway. So we've got a field that might be grass, might be for sheep grazing in it. Who knows? And she wants to build a fence around it, all the way around the perimeter. Each metre of fencing costs £12. Calculate the total cost of the fence. Now, do you notice that it doesn't ask to find the perimeter of the shape? It doesn't ask us about that. But what we have to understand is that sometimes in our problem solving, we have to do that to actually then go on and answer the question. The farmer wants to build a fence all around one of the fields. In other words, the fence is going to look like this. Is going to be a fence along here. It's going to be a fence down here. There's going to be a fence along here. And there's going to be a fence just as well. It straightens out my lines. It doesn't do that one. So I've got 4 sides, and that means I'm going to have to work out the perimeter. Now again, I've only got 3 numbers, so a wee alarm bell there. But then hopefully you're saying, yeah, but there's a line, there's a dash on 2 of the lines, which means that the 25 and 25 are the same. So I've got 4 numbers for 4 sides, so we can go ahead, and even though it doesn't ask me to work out the perimeter, I've kind of got to. So I'm going to use the word perimeter equals, so I'm going to start at the top, 20 plus 25 plus 30 plus 25. I've got 4 numbers to add up. Good. So I've got 20 and 25 is 45, add 30 is 75, add 25 is 100. 100 meters. Okay. So it says each meter of fencing costs £12. So every meter it costs £12. So 1 meter is £12. So 2 meters it cost 2 lots of 12, which is 24. If I had 7 meters, what would I do? Well, I might not know the answer off the top of my head, but I know the calculation. I would just do £12 multiplied by 7. So for my fence around the field, the total cost, and I'm going to put some words in, total cost is going to be £12 multiplied by 100. You might come across problems where you need to use a calculator, and that's absolutely fine, but hopefully it's 12 is a whole number, and multiplying 12 by 100 means the digits of 12 move up 2 place values, or the wee shortcut add 2 zeros, only because it's a whole number, and we end up with £1,200, £1,200. The total cost of the fence is £1,200. Okay, so sometimes you're solving a problem about perimeter without it actually using the words perimeter, but anything that's talking about going all the way around the outside of a shape, that would be helpful. Okay, so have a go at some of the problems you've got, and we'll discuss if there's any other issues that arise.